Hello, this is Jacqueline Gonzalez, and this is my book review on the Lauren Impsum book, A Story About Computer Science and Other Improbable Things. Lauren Impsum by Carlos Bueno. Um, he worked as an engineer for Facebook and Lyft and many other different large companies. And as a child, his family owned a VCR repair storefront. And once technology evolved past VCRs and VCRs became cheaper to buy than they were to repair, his family had to close up shop. And he had several jobs since being a child, since working at his family shop, towards being an adult, where he continuously had to adapt everything that he knew with the changing technology. He and his wife, who was the illustrator of this book, used Kickstarter, a online account, to raise funds to write this book and to publish it. And their goal was to create a book about computer science and about problem solving without kids knowing that they were learning about computer science. Something else that I read that was really important to them was that they wanted the hero of their story to be a young girl because they want to attract young girls to engineering and computer science fields. And I have this quote: "If the idea of a computer book without computers upsets you, please close your eyes until you finish reading the rest of this page." And this is on page 0, which he kind of explains throughout the book what he means by page 0. And that little quote just kind of gives you a feel about the book. It's not a very strict book. It's kind of a funny, relaxed, comfortable sort of writing. And it is by all means a children's book. It has illustrations, large font, conversation style between characters. There's illustrations, and the vocabulary is appropriate for about a 4th grade reading level, a 4th grade class. Some of the vocabulary is a little bit difficult, but I thought that as long as there is somebody to kind of guide them through it, then I believe it would be easily grasped. He and his wife believe in the importance of teaching young children problem solving, engineering, and coding from a young age, because they believe that having those skills leads to a foundation where they will be valuable in the workplace. If you know the foundations, then you can adapt to new technology consistently, just like he has. The book is made up of 22 chapters, beginning at chapter 0, and he explains the idea of zero in the book. And it kind of goes along the line of everything has to start somewhere, and somewhere has to start at 0. The end of the book includes a glossary, or what he calls a guide to Userland, which is the imaginary land Lauren Impsum travels to in the book. And this is just a quick, short summary of the content of the book, the main ideas. So Lauren gets into an argument about summer school with her mother and decides to cool off with a walk in the woods behind her home. She finds herself mostly lost, which is the first chapter of the book. And then more and more lost before she meets a traveling salesman that gives her advice about traveling all of the cities near her just once, and inevitably she'll make a circle and lead back to home. The salesman advice leads her on an adventure in Userland where she meets Zor, a chameleon, and they have a big adventure where they meet a lot of characters, and in exchange for the characters' help in getting her back home, she exchanges ideas. So the characters are all metaphors or wordplay commonly known in computer science. She meets a composer, gatekeepers, cryptographers, architects. She learns all about algorithms and probability, problem solving, and commands. Everything that happens to her happens within an exchange of information or help. Lauren ends up finding her way home, shows off her intelligence in the way, and helps a lot of other characters get things and advice, and just helps them better their lives. And at the same time, she learns how to be a good friend in the process to her little chameleon friend Zor. My evaluation of the book. I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was, for lack of a better word, really, really cute and just adorable. While reading it, I found myself trying to solve many of the problems that Lauren was encountering. There was one problem where, and it's a common common problem that comes up. And she has like a wolf, a sheep, and a head of broccoli. And she has to go back and forth between the boat and another island and then another island, where she can't leave the wolf alone with the sheep, and she can't leave the sheep alone with the broccoli, etc., because they'll eat each other. So she has to figure out how to get back and forth without anybody eating each other. And I just remember thinking and just really trying really hard to figure it out until I kept reading the book, and then she figured it out as well. But everything that she encounters, I found myself trying to figure it along with her. And Lauren was encountering everything that she was encountering. I would go back to the glossary to see what words meant, and what kind of probability or like math questions they were trying to figure out. And there was another really cool idea about adding. So if you add two odd numbers, you come up with an even number, and if you add two even numbers, you come up with an even number as well. So the only way you get an odd number is with an even and an odd. I had never known that until I read it in this book, and I just thought it was a really cool little tip that came out. I really thought that this would be a good book for a primary teacher to read to her class and create an entire unit from it, because the book includes vocabulary where you can incorporate language arts, probability and other forms of math problems and word problems to practice during math, and computer science that would be great to explore during science. The vocabulary is a little tricky, but the glossary in the back gives good examples and graphics to show to students, and the illustrations are so beautiful. His wife did such a good job. They're really cute. Many of the reviews that I came across online mentioned that it reminded them of Alice in Wonderland, with math included, so probability and algorithms in there as well. And I kind of see that, because she goes off in this adventure and she has to help people along the way, and it was just really well written. I really enjoyed it. And my conclusion of the book. So I definitely recommend the book to be read to students, because I do believe that it would be difficult for them to read on their own, but I think that it could definitely get done. I think it's a great book for after lunchtime to calm kids down. As a substitute teacher, I get that a lot, where teachers request me to read books to their students after they come back from recess or lunch recess, to get the kids to calm down with the lights turned down, and using the projector, the Promethean board, or the smart board to project the book that they're reading, so that they can see the graphics and everything. But I really think that this would be a great book for a teacher to read in class. I just think it fits that criteria perfectly. And I really recommend getting creative and creating a unit from this book, because it can be interdisciplinary, and that is such a big Common Core goal, to bring in, and for everything that we're learning to coexist within language arts and math and science and social studies and art. And I am not a primary teacher, but really that is the big thing that I had in my head the entire time, is this would be such a fun book to read to the kids, because it's not your traditional textbook, which is what I thought that the book was going to be. When I ordered it online and I had to sign up for it, I kept thinking, while I started reading, I'm like, this can't possibly be the correct book. This is a kid's book. But it was really fun to read. You don't know that you're going through all of these math problems while you're reading it, and it's really fun. And I just think kids between 4th and 6th grade would really enjoy it. And getting in there and doing some fun art projects and doing some science work and math problems and going over vocabulary and even parts of story, climax, resolution, narrator, excuse me, supporting characters, all of those things would be very nicely done in this book. Um, so yeah, that's my book report. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I really recommend the book. I hope that you guys get it, and I hope any primary teachers out there go through and read it. Thank you.